Hey everyone, we have another word from our sponsor from Liquid IV. So if you'll give me a minute, we'll start the show soon. It's cold and flu season, if you haven't noticed. A lot of my friends and family are getting sick, so it's really smart to stay hydrated with Liquid IV. Just rip the convenient packet, add water, and stay hydrated. My favorite flavor is watermelon because it tastes really good and it's not as sweet as the other sports drinks I've had. Liquid IV contains 5 essential vitamins: B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C. All that probably help with not getting sick, at least. Not to underestimate the 3 times the electrolytes of other leading sports drinks. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code NERDBS, all lowercase, and one word. At checkout, that's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code NERDBS at liquidiv.com. Now, thank you for listening, and we'll go to this show. Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd BS. It is February 27th, 2024. It is a Tuesday because that's what we switched to. And I'm here with Kyle.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. And nice. We're going to be talking about some things today, but I'm doing pretty well. I've been watching a cool show that we're going to talk about later, Scavenger's Run. Rain. You know what? I keep changing the name of it every time I say it. I was thinking Smuggler's Run. I keep thinking Smuggler's Run.
Yeah.
It's throwing me off.
Yeah.
So now, it's Scavenger's Rain, right? That's what it is. That's what you keep recommending, or you kept recommending.
I've recommended it a few times, and you finally gave it a shot, and I think it paid off. So. Yeah,
I was pleasantly surprised, but we'll talk about that more later. But have you been up to anything, Kyle?
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up on some shows, also on HBO, which Scavenger's Reign is on. I finished True Detective, the recent season.
Oh, that's the one that keeps getting promoted to me. Each season's different, right? It's like not connected and whatnot.
Yeah. They're it's like the same universe, but they're not connected at all. It's all the same world, and they kind of mention stuff.
Is it kind of like Fargo? I think Fargo does that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot like Fargo, actually. Very, very similar vibes. I think you'd like it if you're into detective. It's very heavy detective stuff. Fargo is more on the criminal side of things, and you get to see everything happening. Where True Detective is, you don't know what's happening till the end.
I haven't watched the current season of Fargo. I'm still that far behind.
I feel like the new season of Fargo is better than a lot of the comic book stuff coming out, and it's not. I don't know. It's not comic book-y, but it has
got
some
that
crazy
vibe.
villains. Yeah, it does.
That's why I love the other seasons. Now I did watch that one show, so maybe I'll get a little bit of spark to watch more stuff. I hadn't really watched anything for a while.
Watch Fargo. That recent season's good. So
yeah, I finished. Completely forgot about it till we were just talking about it. So I definitely gotta check it out.
Yeah, I did that. I know. Like they kept promoting the True Detective, so I finally finished. Well, not finally. I think it just finished the other day. It was good. It's nothing as good as the first season, but it's good. And then started this show called Tokyo Vice, which I'm loving. My wife and I are watching it together, actually.
Oh my goodness! You said Tokyo Vice. Okay, I don't know why I completely spaced like for a second, and then like Tokyo Vice like took a minute to register in my brain.
Yeah.
I'm big into the Yakuza games, obviously.
Oh yeah. Oh.
It keeps popping up to me, and I'm just like, that looks like Yakuza, but in real
Uh-huh.
life. Is that what it is? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
on the edge of trying it just because of that, the pictures alone that I've seen.
Yeah. It's very much Yakuza ish, and it's in the late. It's like 1999 is the setting, so it's a cool time. They don't. You don't have. Not everyone has a cell phone.
So,
Which
so you're saying it's a period piece, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, here we go again. No,
That's cool.
period piece has to be older than me, and that's the rule.
That's the rule now. Rule of
Yeah.
thumb.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're watching it with your wife. So
Yeah.
what about the show? Because in my mind, I'm thinking it's like heavily violent and things like that. But is that the case? Or
Yeah.
am I far off?
It has its moments, not all the time. It follows the journalist who's trying to cover and report on Yakuza activities mostly, but you get to see what the Yakuza are doing while it's happening. So, yeah, it definitely has its moments of violence, and my wife looks away, and even I'm
Tell
kind
me
of
when
like,
it's
oh,
over.
yeah. Even
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, okay, it's a little much, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you're into that stuff, the Yakuza, it's especially
Is that one also on Max?
it is. Yeah,
I think that's why it kept popping up to me, is because it's also on Max.
yeah. Try it. It's a slow burn because it's HBO and it's a season.
Also,
so-
first season, right? So it's gotta make some ground rules.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like every HBO show. Like it has to have that like mid-episode montage of just music and stretching the episode
crazy.
out.
There's also another season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like he's popping up on that program. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten to that yet.
they had stuff ready to go, and so they're launching it all right now. It seems like.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Like, there's so much there's good quality content on Max right now.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
I wish we were
channel?
sponsored by them because we could really promote it heavily, but we're not. So, but that's what I'm primarily watching.
All of it would be a 10 out of 10 if that were the case.
Yes. Speaking of streaming services, so I messed with my contract through Verizon, and so we ended up getting Netflix, but it's the ad one now, and so I switched it over, and I'm gonna give Netflix some crap right now because that really pissed me off that we switched it over, right? But my time limit from my last month hadn't gone up yet it automatically switches to ads. I hate when subscription services. You should give me the last bit of time that I've paid for without your ads. Don't just switch me over automatically. It's just
dude. Yeah, I hate that. A lot of it's just like computer checkboxes now, right? Like you don't even talk to a human who could be like, "Oh yeah, you have a whole month left. Like we won't switch it over yet." But no, it's just because you clicked a box on online somewhere, and it's so frustrating. That happened with me in the mail. I've been missed, like a few packages have been gone. Just they go to San Bernardino, which I'm near.
Yeah.
And then they wind up somewhere like another state. I'm like, well, you were so close. Where'd you go? So you can like initiate a search on their website, and they can try to find it. And for the most part, they find it, but sometimes stuff goes missing. But I ordered a bunch of stuff from Crunchyroll because they had a huge sale. Like there was like $2-3 for complete seasons of anime, like stuff I've never heard of.
Dang,
of course. I have no idea what any of it is, but I picked up a bunch of stuff. But my order, they split my order in two because I guess that they didn't have boxes big enough. I don't know. One order already came, and then the other half of my stuff was stuck in limbo, and I was afraid because this has happened before, and I can't tell you when, but I know it's happened. I was afraid to contact them because I was afraid they would just be like, "Oh, we'll just refund your order," and I wouldn't get that stuff.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So I just waited it out, and it finally the package started moving in the tracking today. I was like, "Okay, cool." because I was just like, it's not coming. So I either
Yeah.
got to get my money back, or maybe they'll ship it out, and they did. Thank goodness. So yeah, but it's just one of those things, right? Like if I probably would have just chatted with someone or a
Uh,
robot, and they would have been like, "Oh, we'll just give you a refund. You don't even talk to real people anymore."
I would say it's that, but PlayStation. I switched my service, my account type, and it waited until the time ran up of my premium account before it
Oh
switched
yeah.
over.
Okay,
And so
so
it's
they
it's
got
possible.
yeah, they got it set up right.
Yeah, they got to
What
set their
did you
stuff up.
switch? Did you upgrade or downgrade?
Downgrade. We're down to ads now, but free's free.
No,
So I didn't want
on
to.
PlayStation, I meant.
Oh, on PlayStation, I also downgraded. I just didn't. I didn't feel like the platinum was worth it. I was,
Yeah,
the amount of money I would pay to get that is probably the amount of money I would just pay just buying games on sale, which is what I usually do anyways.
right. Do they
So
are they still adding retro games? Because I don't see any
I think
updates.
so. I
Just
think
not
they've
a
been
lot.
adding them. Yeah, maybe just not a lot of them.
I thought there was going to be like monthly with like the
You'd
PlayStation
think they
Plus
would
stuff.
be just dumping them on there, but I guess they're trying to do what Switch does and just kind of
Yeah,
slowly
yeah. They
pull them
can't
out.
though, because they don't have the pedigree that Nintendo has.
Yeah,
Like they
and
just don't.
they don't. I don't think they seem to make a huge deal about it too when they do it. It just kind of pops up.
Right.
It's usually just
Yeah.
an article or
Dude,
something.
okay. We've talked about this before. Like Sony, they've had good marketing campaigns, but currently, like it's been terrible. Right? Like I guess they're just hoping that their customers already know, because like they had good marketing during the PS3 era with that guy Kevin, quote unquote, his
Yeah,
name, remember that guy? You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
think
talking
so.
about? Yeah. He was funny, right? And like they had some of their ads were weird, but they had that funny spokesman. And now it's like you just have to hear about it through like a separate party on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
And
Speaking about
it's weird.
yeah, speaking about just things getting lost in translation. I don't know if you've been keeping in on top of Battlefront, the classic collection. I think we were talking about that on our Discord as well, about how it was like this. It was this huge announcement. It basically stole the show from the whole Switch announcement because it was a Nintendo Direct. And I don't
Right.
even know what else was released. Did you watch the Nintendo Direct
Oh
at
no,
all?
not at all.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a Nintendo Direct. I heard one was coming out, but I wasn't planning on watching it. I don't even know what was on it to be worthwhile besides this game that apparently was announced on the Nintendo Direct, but then just started
Right.
popping up everywhere else, saying it was on everything. And one of the big things that hit was crossplay. Was specifically Hitmarker, their website, posted an article claiming that it had crossplay.
And
which
Hitmarker is what are they just like a journalism or what?
their journalism website, yes,
Oh, okay.
mainly it appears to be mainly video games. So
Right. Video
Oh.
gaming kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
a big game, like I kind of like IGN, just a bit more, less as big as IGN, obviously.
Right.
So this was happening all over the place. I posted in Discord. I was super pumped. I was telling family members, people I knew who liked the game back in
Right.
the day. I was telling
Right,
everybody
yeah.
about it.
I even mentioned because I didn't hear about it until you posted it, and I
Yeah.
even like I was like just stoked for the cross platform that
Yes.
was coming with it. The Star Wars, like playing Star Wars Battlefront, the original Star Wars Battlefront on whatever platform you got with your buddies. Like, okay, I'm in.
And they're specifically adding a 64 player mode as well. I mean, there's going to be 64 players on
yes,
it.
yeah.
So
I didn't even know that.
32 versus 32, that's fantastic. That's a huge battle. I mean,
That's awesome.
and that's going to be great at launch.
Right.
But
right.
that's where
Yeah.
the conversation kind of started going once Hitmark posted on Twitter that they were apologizing for giving the wrong information. It wasn't cross play. It was cross-generation.
Well, yeah,
is
like
they
what
meant it
the
by,
heck, dude?
which changed the entire conversation.
Like, who even
So
writes that? Right? Like, they meant what? Is it going to be on PS4? Is that what they meant?
yeah, they meant it's gonna be on PS4 so basically PS4 and PS5 will play together.
Right.
Xbox One, or which
Right.
was that?
Yeah.
That was the last generation, right? And then
Yeah.
the current generation, they'll be able to play together. But then Switch and PC are still in their own bubble,
Right.
and so it comes down to. So this discourse started happening, and I don't know what I don't know what you think, but a lot of people are claiming like Dead on Arrival type stuff. Like it's going to come out, it's going to be maybe not Dead on Arrival. It's probably too strong.
Yeah. Right.
But, but give it a couple months. If you don't have that pool of players to pick from to do those large battles, they're gonna evaporate.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Like it went from like the biggest hype of this, I don't know, quarter. I don't want to say the year, but like of the last few months, right? Biggest hype of a re-release game to now it's like, well, and for me, just in particular, it went from that to, well, I'll wait till it's on sale, and then I'll pick it up, and then hopefully I can find a battle. I don't know, maybe because before it was like, yeah, I'll just get it on Switch if we can play, cross-platform, fine. But now it's like, well, maybe I'll have to get it on PlayStation if I want to find someone, or or Xbox.
It's kind of because I got a brother-in-law who's similar with you on the Switch thing. He plays all of his games on Switch. He has a PS4, but he doesn't use it. And so I'm like, now I gotta go on the mission of like trying to convince them to go attempt to get it on PS4 if I want to play with them. The console they don't even play with, they bought for like 1 or 2 games used a long time ago.
And if it is coming out, and I don't know the gaming world, but like, how difficult is it to make it?
I don't know the specifics. I'm assuming it's not easy, or else everybody would do it. So
I don't know. I guess if it's coming out for all the consoles, why not? Like,
I feel like even though it's Aspyr who's making it, who's made all the newer old games. So they did the 2 KOTOR games. They did the Clone Wars game. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Clone Wars?
Yeah, they did the Jedi Knight ones. There's 2 Jedi Knight games that came out.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars one with the 4 clone troopers. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. The squad.
Yeah, the squad one. It's a great game, and I can't remember right now.
Commando?
There you go, Republic Commando. That's what it was. Yeah, okay. Yep, that's it. And those are all pretty good. I mean, we did have
the ports.
Yeah, the ports. They're a porter. They're a port studio, primarily. So that's why it's really not. I don't think they were expecting the hype they got. Like I know they definitely were putting a lot of polish on this one and saving it from the other ones because it's probably the most popular out of those older Star Wars games for sure.
There's just a lot of
it's still a port.
There's a lot of replayability with this one. It's just it's one of the first not MMOs. What do you call it? Online.
Online shooters.
Yeah.
Battle Royale. It's not a battle royale though, but it's large versus battle.
But it's already on sale too. The pre-orders are on sale.
Yeah, the pre-orders are 10% off, and so there's a lot of I think it's 10% off on PlayStation. On Steam, they're giving you an extra 10% off if you own the originals, which is cool on them.
Oh, okay.
20% off on PC, but
like if
I don't know.
Library.
Yeah, it's just I really hope they can figure it out. I hope Disney or somebody is looking at this and like, okay, the hype on this was massive. I think the big part about these games too is they're not like they've definitely up-resed everything and everything like that, but they're not like the highest quality in that sense, but they don't need to be. And so I think they can run smoother, and so having all those people on it is not going to be as taxing.
I'm fine with the way it looks. I'm looking at screenshots.
It actually looks fantastic.
If it runs great, and Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like we both said, like you're gonna get it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get it at some point. But it went from me getting a physical copy to maybe I'll just buy it when there's a bigger sale, 20% off, maybe more. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't. Are they gonna do physical copy? I think we talked about that too. Like, I don't even know if
They'll
they're doing that.
probably, because they've done a physical copy for all of the Star Wars ports so far, but
But
it's always
later.
been through limited run games. So as well,
Oh,
I think they did
yeah,
did one mass one, which is like a big collection for Switch. But I don't
yeah.
think it did anything
But
else.
you still have to download. It's
Yeah,
not even
I
all.
don't think
They're
it has
not
them
even
all.
all. Yeah, I
No.
saw that, and I was really sad by that. That's kind of frustrating too on another level, where
Yeah.
because that new Hellboy game, which good, a real side tangent. I have been playing the old Hellboy game on PSP of all things.
All right.
I've been wanting to play it forever. I never actually played it on PSP, and it's a 4 out of 10. I'll just say that. But
Yeah.
it's Hellboy, and I suffer through those games because I love Hellboy. Well, anyways, the new one's out. It actually looks like a decent one. Looks like a 7 out of 10 from what I've seen and heard. But the physical copy doesn't come out till, I don't know, May or something.
With
And
that,
so, yeah, it's just like, ugh.
it feels like what's the point? Because that game was, no offense to it, but it kind of flew under the radar entirely. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
Yeah, I
heard
don't know.
anything
I don't
about
know,
it
dude.
besides from you and on like little bits of stuff. I'm not in that bubble.
It's the same.
It seems weird.
They do the same thing every time with Hellboy, and at least with the older ones, they kind of coincided with the 2 movies that came out. Like it was a continuation of those movies, same character, and I think they even got Ron Perlman to do the voice.
Oh wow!
So there was some tie in there, right? Like they were attempting to cash in on those movies because those are 2, fairly successful movies. But yeah, this new one's like there's no movie coming out. Maybe for the best because that last movie that did come out was horrible, or it's just critically panned. And yeah, like it's kind of like with the Star Wars game. Like for the Hellboy world, it was massive hype, and then it kind of was dead on arrival. And even me, I was watching people on Twitch play it, and it kind of was like, okay, it's a Hellboy game, right? Like it looks really good. It finally looks like you're playing as Hellboy from the comics. Finally, that's the best part of it. But it looks like the same crap gameplay. And stories like half-ass, and but the point they're doing it is because there's a collector's edition coming out, and I'm going to buy it because I'm a sucker.
Hey.
I'll buy anything. So that's why they're doing it physical.
Yeah.
Because
is it like limited run, or is it just limited run games?
It might be. I don't know. It could possibly be. I'll get back to you on that. I don't know.
All right. I was just curious about it. But back to Star Wars, we do have another. I know we don't usually talk about card games on here or board games very often. We do have a new trading card game coming out of Star Wars Unlimited, coming out on March 8th, which threw me off because I didn't even know about that. Like, I'm not in the trading card game bubble.
Right.
I think
Me neither.
I'm definitely on the outside of it. I do love a good trading card game from time to time. I did play Magic. I did play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! All at different times, obviously.
I didn't know that.
So Yu-Gi-Oh! Was much smaller. Yeah, I know. I'm just an expert. I even got back into Pokemon for a little bit with my son when he was growing up, but he got over it pretty quick.
Is he out of it now?
Yeah, he was. We were in it. Well, what was really cool is we were in it for this. Was a really cool time where there was a little comic book store that was near near us is a relative term, but it was in Yucaipa.
Oh,
and there was a really cool comic book store. It was an indie comic book store with it was just like operated by one guy, and he was trying really hard. And then so we were going there pretty consistently just to play Pokemon. It was actually really fun. It's unfortunately it ended up being like me, My brother came with us a couple times. My son and like the owner and his and the owner's son,
Nice.
which is nice. There wasn't a lot of people, and so he started
I
selling
mean,
Pokemon
yeah,
cards and
that's
stuff. And
how.
because he wasn't even selling them at first either. He took
Oh,
them a bit and
oh
started
yeah,
selling them, and so he started selling them.
yeah. That's. I've learned that if you want to get into that business, because I've been thinking about it, I've learned if it's video games, if it's comics, if it's anything pop culture, you're gonna have to sell Pokemon cards. That's what's gonna keep you afloat. I'm serious, dude. Like
Yeah,
all the video game stores have a giant Pokemon card section, and
yeah, it's
it's
true. I
just
mean,
thriving, dude. Thriving. It's crazy, and I don't
he
know
was
anything about it, so that's the thing.
I think that was helping his business quite a bit because he said he was having like groups of kids coming in and just buying out a
Yeah,
ton of his cards,
yeah,
like
I
pretty
believe it.
consistently. And I was like, oh, that's pretty impressive. And so it was really cool. Unfortunately, his store did shut down.
Ugh,
He had some
bummer.
family issues or something going on. So, and I felt like there was like a Kickstarter for to bring it back, but it wasn't a Kickstarter, but it was like a GoFundMe or something.
Mm,
It was a whole
mhm,
thing. It came back
mhm.
way later. But anyways,
Oh,
I digress.
yeah, yeah.
Star Wars Unlimited, a new trading card game by
Reeling it
Star
back.
Wars.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, reeling it back. I'm curious about it. I'm planning on potentially. I'm gonna go down. I'm going down on Friday, so I'm gonna see if I can swing by a couple game stores that I know of and see who's maybe taking pre-orders or something, and see if they have anything available, and maybe snag like the starter kit, the starter set or something, just to see, because they're releasing this little starter set that has supposed to have like 2 decks or something. Just it's like a getting people into it type thing.
Mm-hmm.
We could just play with like one person. So I'll probably snag it and try it out. The gameplay is pretty cool looking. It's way different from like Magic or Lore
Lorcana.
Lorcana, the Disney one.
It's different.
So
How can
so
you
yeah, so
explain
those
in
those
2 minutes or less?
I can try. Those ones have like a more combo based system where each person has their own turn. Whereas this one is more along the lines of you can do like one action for your turn. So it's a much more back and forth type system instead of you set up a big combo on your side of the field,
Mm,
and then you can do like a whole bunch of stuff on your turn. Whereas in this one, you can do like one thing per turn.
okay.
This one also has the hero type thing where you probably remember from Dragon Ball Z card game, which apparently came back, by the way, and is actually doing
Yeah.
okay.
They
I keep
yeah,
debating grabbing some, but it's not super easy to find. I'll tell you that. You have to find them online. It seems like I can't find them anywhere around us.
yeah, they redid it though, right?
Yes,
Or okay.
something
It's a
like
little bit different than the one we played way back.
I think they did, but they still do have the hero system where you have like the one hero.
Right.
That's
Right.
like your deck's based around. This also has that. So like Luke Skywalker would be your hero, your main hero, or your general, or whatever they call it in the game.
Yeah.
And like so everything's kind of based off of that, and then you have that, and you have your home base, which is actually another card that has your health meter on it. So instead of having a separate health meter, your health meter is actually a card. So
Mm,
a unique card, and I'm assuming it has abilities and stuff.
yeah.
But and there's like space and ground as well. I don't know. It looks interesting, and it looks pretty simple, while
Sounds like
short. Yeah, it's supposed to be like 20 to 30 minute games, is what the goal is, which is pretty reasonable for a TCG.
it. You kind of have to be, right? It has to be super like new player friendly because there's just too much out there to
And
choose
Magic
from, right?
is, you start getting into Magic, you start drowning really fast,
Exactly.
and it's
Right. And probably
a bit
even
frustrating.
in the the Lorcana one, it's probably already that way as
Yeah.
well, my guess. I mean, if you think about HeroClix, which is similar to this game, it's
Yeah.
a figure-based game, but like we were pretty into it, right? We could just play without looking up the rules, but they changed the rules so much since we played that I'll speak for myself. If we were to sit down and play it, I would not know what to
We're
do.
relearning. Yeah, we're relearning it from the ground up again,
So
unfortunately.
yeah, like any card game, even Star Wars, it has to be super user friendly. And other, for was one way to put it, because they're just too overwhelming.
And
While at the same time, it needs to cater to the devoted fans
yeah, who need
who
more? They want some more strategy and
they have
complexity.
strategy and depth. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I'm not going to get it.
It's the first. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I want to grab it, but I am still kind of on the fence because I usually know how these things go. I usually grab a little bit of stuff and then I start getting overwhelmed or
Yeah.
start calculating how much I'm spending and just like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
gotta
that too.
reel it back real fast. And then as soon as you start reeling back, that's when you start falling behind. And that's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
how it goes, which sucks. But that's the name of
Yeah.
the game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you could stick to the casual stuff, like you said with the Pokemon. Just a few
Yeah.
buddies playing. But and it kind of fizzles out too eventually. But and the other thing with this game, I'm looking at the cards they have online. I'm not a big fan of the art style they picked.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know what it is. It's like kind of like a washed out. It's brighter.
Yeah.
It's definitely brighter, I guess, is would be a good way to look at
Yeah,
it.
it's not bad.
Yeah,
It's just there's something about it that's not appealing either.
yeah, and
It doesn't have that Star Wars vibe, I guess.
I will say that Star Wars has had like quite a few different art styles, and we were talking about it earlier, and I feel like they really should have gone the original movie posters. I think they should have done the art style similar to that, where it's like a more realistic looking style. I think that
Yeah.
would have been more appealing, especially for a game starting out.
That would have been cool. That would have gotten the veteran Star Wars fans on board.
Yeah,
I would have been a lot more interested. But I think they're going for a new audience. It seems like.
yeah.
Oh, that's my guess. Who knows?
I'm also assuming that, like with any other TCG, the art style kind of changes over time, different artists,
Right.
everything like that. So
If it continues, it'll fluctuate, and some of this original stuff will look funny, but
yeah,
that's how it goes.
they have six sets planned already, and it's going to be 3 sets
Oh.
per year. So they're 2 year in advance prepared. Is what they're
Yeah.
claiming.
Okay. I
So-
mean, they got Big Daddy Disney backing them up,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and I think Lorcana probably helped this along too with how popular that game is. That game really
yeah, it really took off.
off.
I'm
And I
surprised.
think this game, I'm curious to see how well this game does since it is so focused with Star Wars. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. What happens.
I hadn't heard of it until today, literally before we recorded. You
Yeah,
told
I
me,
hadn't heard about it since yesterday, and I just started scrolling through Reddit, and I just saw it popping up, and I started looking into it. Like, holy crap, what the heck? This is just happening, and I'm not hearing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. So that's why I'm not super worried. Like, I might go look around at some stores and see if they have any pre-order, but whatever. If I get something, I get something. If I don't, I don't. So I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. But one thing we talked about a while ago is Scavenger's Reign. I think did you bring it up on a cast? I don't remember if you actually brought it up in a cast.
I don't know if I did. I definitely did in Discord.
Yeah, you hounded us on Discord a little. I say that really. No, you brought it up. You said you had watched it.
Yeah,
You liked
I should
it.
have. I should
You
have.
probably
hounded
should have,
guys a
honestly,
little bit more,
because
yeah.
I didn't realize, like, I know you were telling us to watch it, but I didn't realize that it was hitting so many nails for me personally, because I was like, oh, it's like sci-fi. And then I started watching, and I really like a lot of Studio Ghibli movies. And I really got that vibe. I don't know if you got that vibe, but I definitely got like a Studio Ghibli vibe. They have a really nice pacing. It's not too slow, but it's not too fast. I like all the unique critters and stuff that's in it. They really do a lot of diversity with that.
The aliens in that, that was what was one of the best things in my opinion was how
Yes.
like diverse
Verse.
and different, and they just, it was like they gave these writers like, hey, just think of the craziest aliens you could think of and just go, and they did.
And it's
And
definitely adult. But
yes,
not but not too much. I don't think they went they didn't go overboard at all. I don't think. I feel like it was
yeah,
it was
the
just what was
animation
needed.
is a little, it kind of lulls you into a sense of security because
Uh-huh.
I don't know what this animation's called. I like it. It's not my
I
favorite.
don't know either. Yeah, I think I called it in the Discord. I called it Studio Ghibli mixed with China, Illinois. I don't know if anybody's watched China, Illinois, but they have the same lips. I think it's the lips from the show. They
Uh-huh.
look exactly like the lips that are in China, Illinois. The show from Adult Swim with baby cakes. But it's not, doesn't have that humor at all. And that's also way better art than that show. It's definitely more like they really put a lot of effort into the art. It looks fantastic.
It does look good. I think that's like a point down though for me. Was that a lot of new animation and even new movies, and there's some YouTube videos about this, is that it's just too clean, especially for like a show like this, and it's not like, I don't know how to put it, but like, they're in a foreign alien planet that's completely filthy and they don't look like it, and that's not all the time.
I can understand what you're getting at. I will say when you're in the ship and when you're in the ships and stuff, it does feel a little bit. You have a little bit more of the grit, a little bit more detail with things.
That's true.
But it does have that simplicity about it at times. It definitely switches from frame to frame. But there are, especially the human characters are very simple looking characters. Like they do a really good job with their personalities and everything like that. But the characters themselves, there's nothing super unique about their looks.
Right. And it's also a good point because it helps you focus on what they're trying to get across. It's not oversaturated, so you could see what they're doing. It's not like a blur, there's good and bad to it. I'm just looking it up right now, and it has 100% average rating.
Oh my god, deserves it.
Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, I would say so. It's probably the best thing I watched in the recent, I don't know, past year, because it came out last year technically.
Yeah, it was. I remember when it popped up on my HBO Max. I saw it and I was like, "Huh, this looks interesting," but I didn't click on it. But I wasn't watching anything like heavily at that point. So, and then you brought it up later, and then now I've actually watched it. Now
Dude, you powered through it too.
I couldn't stop. I watched the first. So what happened was yesterday I was sitting at my in-laws' house just waiting for my son to go to school, and so I just popped it on my phone and I just like watched like 3 episodes, and I was like, this is incredible, and I was enjoying it so much. And then when I got home today, I stayed home today and did some work, and then after work I just started watching the rest of them. I was like, nice. Oh man, this is really good. It's definitely a show I couldn't stop looking at either. Like I couldn't passively watch it, if that makes sense.
No,
I had to focus on it.
I did try watching some of while I was doing dishes. I'm sorry, I was like, what am I trying to say? I was trying to do dishes once. I was like, no, I gotta rewind that, or I need to see what happens.
Yeah, I would rewind it while I was watching it in general, just because I thought I missed something. I was like, wait, what has happened? Something happened and I missed. I need to go see what's going on.
Yeah, there's such a spectacle, and like you mentioned, the pacing of it is really good. Like, you think it's slowing down, or some of it you're like, what's happening with this, and then it all comes together, and it's just so well done. And then there's some like gross stuff that happens. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah, I'm trying to avoid it as well. Yep.
there's a part where I think where one of the main characters has something going on, and he like, I won't say it, but it just stuck with me, and I was like, oh, and it was just animated. Like, there's that, simple animation, but it was still like they really got under my skin, and it was a satisfying ending too. I enjoyed
Yeah.
the end of it too. Those because you're kind of worried because it's season one. There's no real main antagonist or protagonist, and you're kind of wondering like, okay, is anyone gonna make it? Is are they all gonna make it? Is it that kind of one? Is that kind of show where they all have to make it? But um, it was a satisfying ending. I'll leave it at that. Trying to just because, like you said, like no one really in our circle has watched it, and so
No,
I
no.
don't want to spoil it. So
I have one. So I would. So this is a weird thing. It's in this weird space because it's borderline hard sci-fi. It's definitely got a lot of complexities with it that normal like sci-fi doesn't really have. So it's something that's going to be there's a very unique audience for it. And it's definitely something that I'm not sure everybody's going to be looking at, but I do know a couple people and I'm going to be trying to hammer them to go watch it as well. And also the art style and stuff, the pacing, I don't know. I'm trying to get my wife to watch it with me because I wasn't going to have her watch it because she's not usually in this kind of stuff at all. But after finishing it, I'm like, I think she might dig it. After
yeah,
all.
nice.
Yeah, I think somebody might like because I think it's that good of a show. It's just one of those shows that can transcend in a way.
Yeah, because it's not connected to anything, and you're going into it 100% blind, and it's just you're just in for a ride,
And we still don't know if there's going to be another season. Like every time I look it up, there's nothing concrete.
Which maybe is okay. I wouldn't mind.
It could last. It could be just fine without it.
I think so. I think that team that did this should do something else. Maybe not connected to this. I wouldn't mind it, but I'm saying if their mojo is flowing, why not just do another setting?
I think they have a really cool universe idea, and I think another show in a different part of the universe may be good. Not
maybe
like they followed 4, I think it was, groups of people, one of them being a solo, and I think that was perfect. And I think if they just did that somewhere else in the galaxy on a different planet or in a different scenario, it doesn't have to be like an alien planet. It could be in a planet that's already populated, something like that. I think that could be really fun. Not having to follow the same characters. Like you could have cameos and stuff if you wanted to, but
maybe let
the cameos let the characters breathe in each season and then move on. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm open to them doing a second season because I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say anything, but I think that team of the people that produced it and made it and all that, like animate, like everything, whoever did it, there's a lot of people involved, obviously. They should do something like now while they're still together.
They really need to. There was an interview I did watch. I did a little bit of research in the interview I watched. They explained that this show took them roughly 80 weeks to make, which I think is
that a long time?
80
weeks?
I should have looked it up before this. Yeah, 80 weeks.
That's over a year. So
yes,
that's a long time. Yeah, 52 weeks.
18 months. It's 18 months.
Yeah.
So it took them about 18 months, which is a year and a half to make. And they said it actually took longer than that because they had a lot of setup and other things like that. But that was like actually starting to make the show. Right. So they were saying that that's roughly what they would need to make another season, and they haven't even started yet. So
yeah, maybe less because they've already done it, and
potentially
you could get maybe hire more people from the success of the first one. I don't know, but I would be fine with that too. Actually, if it was another year and a half before the next one came out, as if it was at the same caliber, then I'd be fine with that. because it was good. It needs to be watched especially if you're into sci-fi at all. Like, it's just top tier.
For sure. Well, anything else you'd like to say about Scavenger's Reign? I almost called it Smuggler's Reign again.
Smuggler's
Run.
Maybe we could do another spoiler cast if Tomas watches it.
I would love to do that. I was going to ask who your favorite character was, or did you have one? Or maybe favorite storyline, if you really want to do that far.
Well, I mean, they're all kind of connected in a way.
Yeah, they do connect,
I guess.
But
and then they all kind of have their own.
Or maybe character. You could just do character then if you have. If you want. If you don't want to, I understand. But
I want to say Sam, but like, yeah, they don't really have a favorite character. They all have a lot of flaws and
they have their place in the show.
Yeah, they all have a lot of good things about each of them. Gosh, yeah, it's just some crazy stuff. I guess Sam, he was cool. And what about you?
I think I like Kamens. I guess his name was. And I didn't like him as a character, but I did like I liked his storyline out of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
I a little more darker.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of trippy stuff with him. And there's a lot of questions that got answered throughout the series about him. I did like that too, how we never got really any exposition. It was just like all the information that we needed was given to us when it was necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought that was really cool.
It was just piece by piece. And
I started taking notes because I was like, oh crap, and then that happened, huh? And I was like piecing it. It was actually really fun. And to me, it was really fun. Maybe that's just my personality, but I was like writing notes down because I was trying to remember what names people, who was who did what was their position on the crew, and stuff like that.
I was gonna say you have to piece it together, and it's quite a bit, and yeah, it's so good. So that I'll end with that. Go watch it if you haven't.
Yes,
check it out.
By all means, watch it. I hope they get their season 2, or they don't even need a season 2. I agree. I would love a season 2, but even if they just did something else. Please be sci-fi. That'd be great. I'd love sci-fi, but it doesn't have to be sci-fi. It'd probably be just as good.
Yeah.
But just something else. They deserve to do something else. This is fantastic. This is getting rewards everywhere. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. 10 out of 10s from reviews. Come on. They got something here.
They do. They for sure do.
All right. And if you didn't notice, Tomas wasn't here today. I didn't mention it, but I'm mentioning it now, so hopefully he feels better. And he's planning on being here in the next 2 weeks. We're going to do another episode. And we're looking at talking about some Dune, right? Some more sci-fi stuff. That sounds...
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see 2, but we'll definitely talk about 1. I mean, I'd like to see 2.
I thought you were planning on seeing it.
I am planning on seeing it. So I may see it. I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll see. Maybe we'll have some 2 information. But for now, at least 1. But
if that would be one. We've talked about this before. If they were streaming it as well, I would probably pay to stream it because I just can't go to the movies right now. Nor do I really want.
It's like the first one was like 3 hours long.
Yeah, that too.
And you got 2 kids. I mean, even more. I mean, but at the same time, that's still long for me. Like, I want to see it, but 3 hours in the theater, I need an intermission. Dude, where's my intermission?
You're taking a break. Yeah, you're gonna have to, whether you like it or not, because you're gonna be drinking water. You can't. We're too old. You can't just sit through that anymore.
Just bring in a bottle, and
that's
where we'll leave it. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Good night.